that's about, but you know me, I love to like run around and jump up on chairs and do all sorts of bizarre things. I'm not going to be doing too much of that tonight. So they took the trapeze down. I don't know what happened to my leg. It's a mystery. You know, life is filled with mysteries. The very act of going through life is mystery. There's something very mysterious about life, and as I began to prepare for this, as I began to take a look at what the meaning of life is, I suddenly came to the realization that the meaning of life is inexorably tied to the meaning of death. It's a reality of life. We view life as this linear progression that begins with our birth and ends with our death, but I prefer to take a look at it in a different perspective. I care to bend that into a circle with death at the center. At any point on that circle, we are any equidistance from death. Death could come to claim us at any time. It is a natural, consistent part of life. And it serves a purpose because it asks us, it forces us to ask the question, what is the meaning of life? Now, that question assumes that we've already gone through the other obvious question. The other obvious question is, does life really have meaning? Is there meaning in life? Or, as the existentialist Camus might suggest, is life absurd? Is life devoid of meaning? We're going to take a look at that question tonight. We find ourselves asking the question, and when we do, we come to the realization that the important thing is not the answer to the question. The important thing is to live the question. To live in the question, to make one's life a dedication to finding out what the meaning of life is. And we have some extraordinarily powerful tools available to us as human beings. We have the gift of language. We can talk. We can communicate. We can help each other pull back this veil of mystery over the meaning of life. And we do it, one of the most powerful tools in our arsenal is the power of the metaphor. The metaphor allows us to reveal truths. The metaphor allows us to look beyond the veil. The metaphor allows us to extract truth from our questions. And so tonight we are going to be using the metaphor of the hero and of the saint. And we are going to be tracing the human search for meaning through both of these metaphors, these archetypal metaphors that have been dominant in Western civilization, indeed in the civilization of the world in one form or another. We're going to ask the questions. We are going to look at the profile of the metaphorical hero. The hero whose major driving force is honor. The hero operates, seeks to overcome obstacles in this environment of necessity, this environment that is indifferent to gods, indifferent to man. It just is. It just stands there, and it is certainly indifferent to human feelings, to human concerns, to human fears, to human hopes. It's indifferent to all of that. And the heroic struggle then is about seeking meaning out of that kind of environment. Seeking meaning, and we look at the hero with admiration, with respect, and from the hero we seek inspiration. The hero's feet are grounded in this world, in the reality of this world, in empiricism, in science, in mathematics, the language of science, in the realities of this physical plane. And we will see that this hero has its birth in ancient Greece. Oh, the ancient Greece has given us so many wonderful gifts. We're going to take a look at some of those, and we're going to understand what that means to us today as we stand here in our own individual search for meaning in life. And we will switch our focus from the metaphorical archetype of the hero to the metaphor of the saint who has grounding in Hebrew tradition, the Hebrew worldview, the saint who we call upon for help, the saint who is driven by love, the saint whose saintly reality is defined by a covenant, an agreement, a covenant between man and God. And each, the man and God, humanity and God, each fulfills in their own way their part of the covenant. And we look at the saint with respect. We look at the saint with compassion. And from the saint we seek help. I remember as a little child growing up in a Catholic household, we had images of saints everywhere. And I was told to pray to St. Patrick that you should turn into being someone other than you are. That was my grandmother. She was a toughie. But she called on all God and all the saints of the heaven for help, to help her with her burden. So we will see how these different kind of archetypes over the course of history have dominated human thought. And we will see some magnificent changes that happened in the 16th century that led to things like the Protestant Reformation, that led to the Age of Enlightenment, that led to the Industrial Revolution, to the rise of empiricism, to the formation of the United States of America, to the French Revolution. All of these forces, we are going to see the rise of capitalism and the rise of liberalism and totalitarianism as the humanity, the march toward humanity, creates this hybrid, this thing known as the secular saint. And we'll take a look at where that happens over the course of the past few hundred years and how that phenomena, those dynamics of human culture have changed the world and have changed the worldview to allow us the freedom to worship God as we see fit in this thing that we call New Thought religion. It's all tied together. And we will look at the idea of the hero and the saint throughout history. And in doing so, we will unveil some mysteries of life. Together, we will search for the ultimate meaning of life. A meaning which comes to each one of us. But the important thing here again is to live the question, not to seek an answer. The living the question in and of itself is seeking an answer. We search for meaning in our lives, and that search becomes a way of life. That search in and of itself gives meaning to life. We're going to wind this up at the very end and talk about that individual search. Talk about people who are today these secular saint models. And we're going to examine our own lives compared to these metaphorical archetypes of the hero and the saint.